figure out what he needs.
I have a 3-month-old now. Look at him. It's been a while. I've been wanting to make videos and stuff. Oh man, but healing just from childbirth and then getting used to having a newborn, it's a trip. This is my son. I had him. Hi, baby. Hi. On September 15th of this year, 2023. You're gonna be 3 months soon. I thought I'd go over our birth story while I stuffed some of his diapers, huh? Look, he's a diaper. We were due on September 9th. The day passed and nothing happened. I just went about my day like normal. We had a farmer's market. My mom and my sister were here and they were just taking care of the house for me, helping us get it prepared for the baby and for postpartum period. Then I had my doctor's appointment the following Tuesday. It was like 3 days later. And at that point, mentally, I was just like, I cannot be pregnant anymore. I was so over it. Like, my pregnancy was a little rough. I was sick a lot. I was very sick. And then I had bad hip pain. Like, I had insomnia. Like, there's so much. To my doctor's appointment, I got checked. They checked my cervix. And I was still only 2% or 2 centimeters dilated. I had gotten checked when I was 38 weeks. And I was still the same size or still the same amount at 40 weeks. Like, well, we can't induce you until 41 weeks. Options are to induce or to wait until labor happens. And then if it passes 42 weeks, they start doing like non-stress tests and stress tests and all that. I opted to be induced on the 15th on the 15th of September of this year, 2023. My reasoning, I wasn't coerced into making the decision by anybody. I was just given like information, like this is what's gonna happen if you do induce, this is what happens if you don't induce. And then I ultimately made the decision to induce because I was honestly just so freaking tired of pregnancy, and I'm just so glad I had the option, you know? Secretly hoping that labor will just start on its own so that I don't have to get induced, because I've heard bad stories, but that wasn't the part that was scaring me. So a few days passed by, nothing happened. Literally nothing's happening. Like, I'm just having Braxton Hicks. My hips feel loose, they don't hurt, and like mentally I'm just over it. Just vibing for like a week. And it felt like ages though. Yeah. And on the 14th, I woke up on the 14th at like 8 a.m. Huh, yeah, we woke up. He keeping me up all night. Woke up and I had lost my mucus plug. So I was just like really excited. I was like, dang, tonight he could be born like right now. Like, this is so cool. So I was walking all day. Started having like what I thought were Braxton Hicks, but it was like more. So I was having low back period cramps with, so it was low back period cramps, and then I had this sensation that I needed to poop like really big, like a really big poop. It was a lot of pressure in my like rectal area, and then I would have like a tightening in my belly like Braxton Hicks, and then I felt him kick, and then it was just like that over and over again. And it was like a cycle. That would happen. It would last for like 30 seconds to a minute, and it was about 5 to 10 minutes apart, like each one. And when I first got those, I was like, oh, it's just Braxton Hicks. And then my mom was like, no, you're definitely having contractions. So I just like laid down, I took a shower, me and my partner, we practiced like these stretches and stuff to help with labor. We did those, and that went on for about 3 or 4 hours. And it was 10 p.m. and I went to the bathroom and I noticed there was like more wetness in my underwear than normal. So I called my midwife and I was like, hey, I've been having contractions for a few hours. I'm pretty sure my water is leaking, but I'm not sure. What should I do? And they were like, you should come to the hospital. And you're so sweet. You should come to the hospital and we'll test for amniotic fluid. Go to the hospital. Oh. It's like 11 p.m. at this point. So I had to go through the emergency room because like labor and delivery, they close their doors at 9 p.m. and you have to go through the emergency department. Anyways, I went through the emergency department and they wheeled me over to labor and delivery, and I get taken into triage and they're like, all right, get changed and pee in this cup. I don't know why they had me pee in a cup. I really don't know why. Get changed and we'll get you set up to the monitors, because they like to monitor the baby's heartbeat and my contractions. Got changed. They put me on the monitors, and literally within minutes, like maybe 3 minutes, not even 5 minutes have passed by, his heart monitor reads heart rate deceleration. So his heart rate went down to, like, I have to check the numbers, some crazy ass number. Like, his heart rate dropped significantly while I was having contractions. So while that's happening, the nurse is like calling for help. She's not freaking out. I mean, this is like a Friday night for them, right? She's like, I need help in a room, blah blah blah. And like 5 nurses come in. I'm being checked, my cervix is being checked. They're looking for him on the ultrasound. They're putting an IV on me. They're spinning me on my legs and knees and back and side, like any position, to make the baby's heart rate go back up. Ultimately, I think I was on my side, and his heart rate went back up after about 10 minutes, which was scary. At the same time, they were testing me for the amniotic fluid. So after that whole thing got settled, my midwife, she's like, yeah, we're admitting you no matter what happens, because this baby's heart rate is dropping during contractions, and that's very concerning. So they admit me. I get put into a labor and delivery room. Within 5 minutes, it happens again. His heart rate dropped. They're doing this thing, doing all that like they did before, except on my hands and knees, okay? Like literally on my hands and knees, bent over, booty in the air. Midwife comes in and she's like, I can't believe this has happened. This for the second time in like 30 minutes. And I was still only 2 centimeters dilated, mind you, this whole time. So she's like, I'm gonna grab the hospital list and we're gonna go over some possible scenarios. So the hospitalist comes in and he's like, okay, given your situation and how far along you've progressed, you could progress naturally, try to, and you could end up in an emergency C-section situation where you would have to be put under and no one could be in the room with you, and basically I wouldn't like have skin to skin with my baby. His dad wouldn't be there to witness his birth. Like, it would just be a whole situation. And he was like, or we can have a C-section right now and we just give you the spinal and dad can be in there, you'll be awake and you'll get skin to skin with your baby. And in the moment, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of information, especially while you're having contractions, while your hands on your knees, while you have all these nurses around you, like trying to figure out what's happening or like how to take care of you. And this whole time I'm like bothered by the way the IV was placed. It was so crazy, like what you focus on when you're in these really intense moments. My prenatal team was like a clinic of midwives. There was like 10 of them, I think. And the midwife that was telling me all of this was the oldest one and like my main provider, right? So she knows me the best, and she's been doing this for like 20 plus years. And her face was like like you really, like we gotta get this going, or something really bad can happen. She wasn't saying anything, like, no, again, nobody was pressuring me, nobody was like, you need to do this, or nobody forced me. They gave me information, I asked my questions, and then they let me make the decision. And ultimately he decided to have a C-section because he wasn't tolerating contractions well. Obviously his heart rate kept going down every like 30 minutes. He crazy. Or like with every contraction I was having, he couldn't handle labor. I wasn't dilated far long enough for it to be like okay. Like the hospitalist, he said if you're like 8 or 9 centimeters and the heart was decelerating, like that's a different situation, but since you're only 2 centimeters, it's a cause for concern. Still, I was like crying. I was like, I don't know what to expect, and oh my god, I want to cry. Everyone there was just like, you're making the right decision, because I just felt so like, because I wasn't like super educated on like what heart cell deceleration, like it just sounded so scary, you know. I was like, what do you mean my baby's not like tolerating labor well? But anyways, I was like crying, and my partner was there. He was just like, you know, like just trying to like support me in my decision. All the nurses, the doctor, my midwife, they were all like, you're making the right decision. And I had my mom and my sister there, and everyone was like, you're making the right decision. It's gonna be good for you and your baby, and you get to meet him like right now, like in 30 minutes. So I get changed. They put like a little hat on me, and then I remember one of the nurses was like, you need to pull out your nose ring. And I was like, I've never taken it out before. I've had it for like 4 years. And I don't know what happened with that. I mean, I didn't have to take it out. So they put me into the OR, and they're like, hey, we're gonna put you in the OR, and then we're gonna call, yeah, we're gonna call dad in after they put the anesthesia in you. Yeah, I'm getting wheeled into the OR. I don't know if I wheeled in or walked. It doesn't matter. So I'm in the OR. They put me on the table, and I'm holding a pillow like this. They told me that I needed to like bend my back to put the spinal in and hold the pillow like this. And then I was just like, I was emotional, like I was crying, and I had a nurse, like one of the nurses, and I was like, can you please hug me? And so I was hugging the nurse like this, crying as they were putting the needle in. And I remember right as he was putting the needle in, I had a contraction, and it was a shitty, it was not, it sucked. It was like a bad contraction. I had to stay still, and then they laid me down, and I felt numb like instantly. Like from here down, I couldn't feel anything, and it all just happened so fast. Like I know they inserted a catheter because I could see it in the mirror right there, like above you, because there's a mirror, like a big circle one. Everyone is so nice. Anesthesiologist, he was, oh, he was like, I'm gonna like talk you through everything that's going on and let you know like what's happening and what to expect at what time. And then as all of this is happening, I think right after they inserted the catheter in me, they brought my partner in, and he looked so cute. He was in like scrubs, and he had the little bouffant cap, and before I know it, I'm being cut open, and I can't feel anything. Like I just feel like I know they're working down there, but I know, but I can't feel it. You know how to describe it. But the anesthesiologist he's just like talking me through it, and my partner's right here, like he's almost here, like he's gonna be born, like this, you were making the right decision, like just encouraging me. Yeah, daddy's such a good dad, huh? And then the anesthesiologist, he's like, they're cutting you open, and they're doing this, and they're pressing on you. And I remember I was like so concerned about the way the hat was fitting on my head. Like I was so bothered by it, and at the same time I could see like what they're doing, but I don't want to see what they're doing. I don't know why. I wish I looked, but at the time I was like, I don't want to see what they're doing to me. And so my partner's like right here, and he's like, look at me, but if I looked at him, like I would see the mirror and see what they're doing. And I was like, no, and my hat, and blah blah blah. And at the same time the anesthesiologist is like explaining what's happening, And anyways, I hear, okay, you're gonna feel a lot of pressure. Here's the worst part. And I feel them like push, and then I hear him cry. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, my bun, I heard your little cry. And I was like, oh my god. And we all were like, oh my god. Did delayed cord clamping for a couple minutes, and then like the whole time, like I can just hear him crying, and which was a really good sign. Like, huh. And then they just like wiped him off and brought him over to me and put him on my chest. And I have pictures. Let me put pictures up right here so you can see. The nurse, the nurse snatched up John's phone and took pictures for us. I wish John had live on his phone. He didn't at the time, but it's okay. They brought him over. We did skin to skin for a few minutes. They wanted to do like the newborn test they do on babies, so I told John to go be with the baby. Like, don't leave him, because they were just putting me back together. My focus was on the baby. I just didn't want him to be by himself without like one of us. 9 out of 10 Apgar score twice, huh? They said his color could have been a little better, but like he was passing all his tests, and he got like the vitamin K shot, and they did the eye thing, and they weighed him and measured him and did all the things that I couldn't be there for because I was being put back together. Oh, it just happened so fast. Like, by the time I got admitted, or by the time I came in to when he was born, it was 2 hours. Huh. So, he was born, this is the crazy part, he was born on the day that I scheduled to be induced, just 6 hours prior. Like, I don't know if that says anything about his personality. Like, I'm coming on my own time. It was just so crazy because he what? I was making no progress, like, at all. That last week I was pregnant, and then all of a sudden he was like, no, I'm coming now. I'm coming now, huh? I loved the nurses and the doctors and pediatricians, and especially the lactation consultants. Like, man, breastfeeding was hard in the beginning. Like, and it wasn't like the physical act of breastfeeding, it was like everything that comes with breastfeeding. Maybe I'll make a separate video on it, but man, like, I just received such great care throughout the whole process. And I don't regret getting a C-section because the contractions were getting worse, and I honestly did not want to deal with that. Huh, bun bun? Yeah. And in my report, my hospital care report, oh my god, you were just so perfect. It said, reason for C-section, fetal intolerance of labor. So there we go. That is our birth story. Maybe I'll make another video about like postpartum and stuff. I just wanted to share that situation with everyone because I was not aware that that is a reason why a C-section will happen. Like, you have to be prepared for everything. There was a little bit of time where I just felt so guilty. I don't know why. Dude, postpartum, like fresh postpartum, like first 2-3 weeks, your mind just, because it's the most jump your hormones will ever do, and it's just really crazy. Like, I just felt so guilty for laboring at home for the 4 hours prior because his heart rate was decelerating. I hope I wrote a journal prompt about this because in my head it doesn't make sense. Like, it happened, you know, but in my, like, at the time, like a week postpartum, I was like crying that I was purposely hurting him by laboring further at home because his heart rate was going down, you know. But anyways, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have given birth, or you're going to soon, or you're birth story. Like, I want to hear it all. I'm happy to be back on YouTube, and we'll see what happens. See ya.